All right. I'm figuring out the new platform pretty well actually now. The last time, I don't know if you guys saw the last live stream, but the last live stream, I basically went on for like 20, 30 minutes. No, it was 19 or 21 minutes. And then realized that I wasn't live. So now we're smarter, hopefully. The new live stream platform is pretty good, actually. I noticed that the lag issues and the latency issues, they're not really as bad, even when, and this isn't back home in Asia, so I'll really, the rubber will really hit the road when I go back there and we see what normal latency on internet out there does. But obviously in America on fiber, it does pretty well. But believe it or not, there are areas of America that have really shitty internet. They have DSL, I think it's called, or like a really low-end fiber. Pretty crazy to think about that. That here we are in fucking 2020, and there's parts of good old America that still don't have good internet. But anyways, so somebody's obviously not doing a good job selling. We're going to talk about the two most important skills today. Hope you enjoy this background. This is actually a sacred site in Bali. And missing home, so I put that as my new background. Missing home. Almost. We'll be there soon. But yeah, this is where usually you see a bunch of stupid fucking influencers taking photos for clout, for social media clout. If they only knew. It's so funny to think about, because I was saying this the other day to my wife to be, is that like Australia goes to Bali and treats Bali like it's Mexico, and we all know how Americans treat Mexico, right? You treat it like shit. You go there and you're an idiot and you're drunk all the time, and a lot of the men go there to cheat on their wives and be just a really shitty human being. And people do that in Bali, and what they don't realize is it's like a really spiritual epicenter, right? Really magnetized place. And so they go there and they feel something. They obviously they can't define it, because most people can't. But then they shit on the doorsteps. It's just funny to me. The what would you call that? The irony. They go there for a vacation, and then they do the exact opposite of probably what they should do in that place particularly. Many places on the earth aren't like that, but when you go to a charged place like that, it's best not to behave that way. But anyways, all right, so sales and marketing, I'm going to get to make fun of my favorite age demographic, which is the 16 to 25 age group, which I think is by far the most fucked, and I'm going to tell you why. Stick around if you're not triggered already, and if you want to know more. But I wanted to start off with this message that I sent last night. If you're not in a Discord, it is free. But this started as a crypto group. Remember, back in 2017, we don't really talk about crypto. I do trade crypto. I do hold positions in crypto, mostly Bitcoin and ETH, because I think outside of Bitcoin, ETH, and Ripple, there's really nothing to pay attention to. Maybe that'll change this year. Maybe some of these projects like Hedra, Hedra Hashgraph, and others will actually, come through to be something, but they all ran out of money last year, and most crypto projects are a joke. So the ones that really pay attention to would be Bitcoin, because if they can allow the store of value narrative to actually happen, it's going to be good. ETH, because so many ERC20 tokens are associated with it, and XRP because they have over 300 mostly banking relationships, and they're being used as some sort of cross-border settlement solution. So those are the three to focus on and pay attention to. But anyways, here's what I put. 2020 is the year that you will look back on and either feel proud knowing that you did everything that you possibly could, or it'll be another year of regret that'll haunt you for the rest of your life and possibly the next. And see, that's something that I could talk about all day long on, is do we just have these regrets in this life, or do they actually follow us around? And I firmly believe that they follow you around and they express themselves in some sort of way, no matter what you come back as, what the soul comes back as, the real you. But anyways, we'll save that for another time. This is the year you must put the fuck out, okay? It's the year that legacy will be built and frauds will be destroyed. You got to shed the bullshit, the insecurities that you have carried around with you your whole life. This is a pivotal year. The stock market bull run will start to fall apart this year and should be done by 2021. Now, I don't know if that leads to a recession or not. And also what I don't know is we might actually be breaking out of the traditional U.S. economy 7 to 11 year cycle. We're starting to clearly show that now. We're at 11 years right now without a 20% or more pullback. If we get through 2020, we would have essentially broken that without a, crazy recession. Because remember, so many people right now are calling for end of the world, craziest recession you've ever seen, right? We might not get it. And what would change that and what would allow us to skirt that is, I just sent out an email this morning. Right now, the world, the global debt is 322% of GDP. That means it is 322% greater than GDP right now. And that you can definitely chalk up and attribute to some people that are really fucking great at selling the American dream, selling the American population on this future that it doesn't matter what the GDP to debt ratio is. And you know what? It might not in the future. Once we grow out of this planet, it changes the game completely. Supply and demand still is a real law. Those things still will exist. But what might change, it might really, really change, is our ability to supersede that without the negative repercussions. Because as soon as we jump into space, as soon as we start mining these asteroids, as soon as, everything's on the table and we have intergalactic markets, supply and demand will still exist, but it might not be as important as people think. Okay? And so, anyways, that's all going to matter this year. But this year, we've been talking about this. Think about this for a second. We've been around for 3 years now, since 2017. This is the third year. I'm still here. How many crypto channels are gone? How many influencers are gone? See, the goal was never to be an influencer. I fucking can't stand that title, which is why I never call myself that. And I just don't think that I am, okay? But how many of those channels are gone? You know how many little crypto kids are super excited that they're just now able to charge $100, $200 for video reviews? We were charging thousands of dollars back when I was doing it. That's how slow most people are to pivot. That's how slow most people are to adapt to a new reality. And if you've been watching, don't listen to what I say, watch what I've been doing. You'll see that I've done nothing but pivot since 2017. 2017, then lost a bunch of money. Okay, we need a new solution. Pivoted. Okay, things change. Pivot. And we're about to pivot again for 2020. But this year, if you've missed 2017 and you didn't pay attention in 2018, 2019, you had your head up your ass. This is the year. I don't know how much more clear I can make it. This will be the year that 5 or 7 years from now, you look back on it and say, fuck, that fucking YouTuber guy, what was his name? Fucking Jay or something, right? That guy was right. And the point actually isn't be right and, oh, I'm so smart and I'm so great. It's really not that at all. It's that it's really clear what's going to happen and how important last year was and this year is. But you can't see that because your head is up your ass in some sort of way. Okay. So anyways, we're going to talk about the two most important skills, which is sales and marketing. Now, here's what's funny about this. And I make fun of this all the time because deep down, I think it's fucking tragic. But this new generation, and I'm considered a millennial, by the way, because I think I'm 34, 35. Who fucking cares? But the age group that I see it the most in, and I don't know what their title is, right? Zoomer, Gen X, Gen Z, who cares? The 16 to 20, I would say 24, kinda, but it could stem as high as 26. And this age group, because it was born and raised on the internet, where it's okay, this guy's saying this shit, let me go Google search it. Oh yeah, he's right, he's wrong. Because you have the ability to do that, a lot of people have, it's almost this metamorphosis of entitlement, but presented itself differently. And so what it is that they're excusing sales and marketing. They think it doesn't work. I can't tell you how many times, just go on any social media site and you'll have somebody in this age group talking about how Sales pages are so annoying. Sales letters are all the same. It's all a scam. They're going to sell you a 1997 product. They're going to sell you a 997 product. Okay? And this is all true, by the way. Now, I don't know if the person is a scammer or not. All right? But what they're missing is that it fucking works. That's why we do it. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be around. You see, just like back in 2017 when everyone would, he's my favorite crypto guy, he's my favorite. Doesn't matter. If they're providing value, they have an audience. They have a following. If somebody's not providing value, they don't have an audience. It really is that simple. The equation is value in, value out. So you can have people talk about the most basic shit on the internet. Wow, how does somebody still not know how to use a fucking spreadsheet? So value in, value out. So anyways, you have people talking about, yeah, it's a scam. They're all selling a program, a high ticket program. And you know what? I think a lot of these are a scam. Me being able to actually have lived through what this started as, when internet marketing was kind of first starting and first taking off on the internet, you got to understand, I was in it. I got to see this. So I got to see the truth in a lot of these pieces that people are missing. First off, right out of the gates, if persuasion didn't work, it wouldn't be around. Okay, if I just told you, hey, you need to intermittent fast and stop eating McDonald's and you'll live to be 150. Oh, that's it? That's all I got to do? Okay, yeah, let me just do that. Don't fucking kid yourself. If it was so simple to just get on here and say, you know how you make money? You build something that people want. Okay, bear with me. You build something that people want and then you sell it. Holy shit! The holy grail, right? If it was that simple, if persuasion was not required, if marketing and sales didn't work, then all we'd have to do is say, you're fat, you need to lose weight, and you'll live longer. Fuck, where's this guy been my whole life? But it doesn't, does it? Now, the reason why it doesn't is because we are all our own worst enemy. So we understand these universal truths at the core. We understand, we know when we're fat, okay? We know when we're unhealthy. We know when we're broke. We know when we're poor. We know when we're mentally not prepared for something. We know all of these things. But, and a big but, which just negated everything I just said, we get in our own way. So, you might like it, you might not, but it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Now, here's some things that those people are missing. And I've attempted to shine a flashlight on because I don't want to see what happens in the next 10 years with this age group. They're going to be so far fucked and they don't even know it. What's crazy is that they, like all of us when we were that age, they think they got life by the balls. They think that they figured something out that their parents didn't know. They think their parents are idiots. And they think that the world is somehow dumb and they've figured something out that the world doesn't know. But what they're missing is, okay, we got this new resource. You know, back in the day, it was called a library. It's called a fucking library. And guess what it was filled with? Books. And these books were written by men that had made, you know, the equivalent of trillions of dollars back then. And the library had a lot of people in it, but most people were not. And the internet is filled with all this free information. Don't mistake free for good. Don't mistake free for accurate. Don't mistake free for what you need right now. Just because all this is on there doesn't really mean shit. Okay? Doesn't mean you're going to go and use it. Doesn't mean you're going to go get rich. If that was true, why isn't everyone rich in the stock market? If it was so simple, just buy low, sell high, right? Fuck. But why does 87% of people lose in Forex? Why over the last 20 years has the average investor gotten only 1.9%? Less than fucking inflation. They would have done better if they would have just sat on gold or sat on their house or a real estate investment trust. Why is it that they haven't cracked the code? It's because they're missing something. And that's sales and marketing that they're missing. Okay, you have to be able to sell the dream, sell your vision. And when there's a ton of people giving away free information online, like let's even look at this for a second. The new version of the trends report, which is about to drop. So this is where I kind of make predictions and, you know, tell a lot of truths that people aren't paying attention to. Okay, that's why I enjoy this. Is this up? Okay, we got a little lag going. And so this I used to give away as a free PDF download. You know, I don't know, maybe 20 pages, 30 pages. That was considered super valuable back in the day. Times have changed. Now I'm going to put it all online. No opt-in required. Just going to fucking give it away. And it's going to have a table of contents. We're going to go over probably 7. I like the number 7. So I'm weird about numbers. So it's like the amount of trends that I go through and number anyways. It has to be one of my numbers. So 7 is one of those. But anyways, it'll most likely be 7 trends. And it'll just be a great resource for you to use. Okay, but it'll be filled with way more stuff this time. I'll have video references, a lot more hyperlinks than, you know, in a PDF you can only do so much. You can't really embed video and shit like that. Images are a pain in the ass to deal with. So, anyways, yeah. Why is this live chat not working? Can somebody jump into live chat? Oh no, never mind. It's working. Okay, so I did say I was going to start this at 9 o'clock, and I started like 15 minutes early. But I appreciate the likes. Thank you. So, okay, times have changed. There's market sophistication. And this is another thing that people don't get. Market sophistication, 5 levels. In the beginning, all you got to sell is that you got this thing. That's all you got to talk about. You got this thing. But at the end, like Gillette, well, the razor now has to have 5 blades and a moisture strip, and it's got to scratch your back, itch your balls at the same time, and shave your face. But then something like Dollar Shave Club comes along and says, hey, bro, we've gotten crazy with this razor stuff. How about just a basic fucking razor sent to your door, $20 a month? How's that sound? Oh, my God, sign me up. So the market naturally gets smarter, and it hits this crescendo point, and it has to recycle back down to basics, and then we start all over again. And then it goes up, and this is what you see. Okay, so what these guys are missing is that, okay, it's great. We're giving away all this great information online. Now the new problem becomes everybody else also have access to this, and they're also looking at it. So now your FBA strategy, your Airbnb real estate strategy, your fucking how to get rich online strategy, well, the YouTube video has 2 million views now. So that means 2 million other assholes could be doing the same thing as you. Is it really that unique anymore? No. But here's what's crazy. Even with all of that I just said, you will have competition. But other laws and other rules are also true. 99% of people will quit just before the finish line. What's that annoying image that most people quit just before they find the diamonds, and you got that, it's like a cartoon and the guy with the axe walking away, and he's like a hair away from finding the fucking diamonds. And he's walking the other way and the other guy's still digging, right? So these are all truths based on the ascension, the level that the player is at. Just like a video game. You graduate the level, you get to a new level. The same shit's going on here. I don't know if you noticed or not. So, yeah, you know, the stuff is all given away for free. Amazing, great. The best content ever in the history maybe of mankind is being given away for free. And most people still aren't doing shit with it. But it's also creating like this pseudo, like, I'm a fucking genius, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So that's where I have a challenge. So for the people that are watching that think, oh, my light just shut off. For the people that are watching that think that I'm still full of shit and I'm still wrong because I'm this old guy and you're young and you're smarter and you're more spry, right, and more wise, then challenge me on it. Go do this. Go make $1 million in a week in the stock market. Go make $1 million this year in business. Go make a digital empire overnight. You can't, can you? Why? Why though? Because not only have you failed to recognize that you need to build a movement, and you need to get people behind you, and you need people to help you and get involved in what you're doing, but it's a lot fucking harder than what it seems. So there's a lot more to it than a fucking YouTube video with some of this stuff. Now, granted, you know, I need to fix my garage door and the fucking cable snaps off, and I have no clue how to fix it. I'm going to go to YouTube. Okay, but I'm not going to go to YouTube for fucking open heart surgery. Okay, and God forbid, I pray that they don't change the regulations on education within the health and community space, because a lot of that stuff, you need that time to apply it. So while I love the the aggressiveness with that generation, they're missing the point that, you know, there is no algorithm for experience. There's a guy, Dan Pena, who talks about, you know, buying businesses, rolling them up into a conglomerate, and then selling them off, right? And he's got 50 years experience in that space. And he's got haters every day, just like I do in YouTube and all over the place. I have haters every day that they try and discredit you. And they say, well, no, you're 50 years experience with him, with me, 30 years experience. You're wrong. You're full of shit. It's like, wait a second. Maybe I'm not 30 years experience, by the way. Maybe it's like 20 years, because you can't count when I was fucking 4. I'd say when I was like 10, 11, I really started figuring this shit out. And that's when I started working, by the way. I started working at like 9 or 10. But anyways, you can't, there will never be an AI that can duplicate 50 years of experience. Now, there can be an AI that can tell you every fucking piece of our true history and every piece of everyone's history. And that's where this will really be advantageous with where we're going online. But there will never be somebody who can, an AI or anything, that can give you what you learned over 50 fucking years. No way. No way. No way. In every single conversation you have throughout the day, whether it's with your mom or dad, whether it's with your coworkers, whether it's with your teacher, whether it's with your staff, there is a sales conversation happening. They're selling you on their bullshit, or you're selling them on yours. That's it. And this will never change. As long as we're communicating in this reality, it's never gonna fucking change. And it blows my mind how many people excuse that. Just because you have 2 hands and 2 feet does not mean you have skills. And you should not get paid as though you have skills if you do not have skills. Don't kid yourself. If you don't have skills, you should not get paid shit until you learn those skills. And this used to bother me. So that's why I think that's where I really get, my heart goes out to that age group. But and what they're missing is, because I had the same thing. You know, I started in an auto body trade. And when I got into that trade, they were still working off the old dinosaur model. You see, because I was born being a millennial. I think I'm still a millennial. I was born in the birth of the internet and the death of the old way of doing things. So I got to see both, which gives you a unique perspective, to say the least. All right. And so every job you go to, and some people can relate to this, they used to say, you know, expect, going through training and stuff, expect mastery in 7 to 10 years. Who came up with this number? This used to drive me nuts. Who the fuck came up with this nefarious 7 to 10 years? Why is that true? But if you were to put that out, and the government and everybody in the media were to come out today and say, hey, you know what? Yes, this is true. Definitively, science proves it. It takes 7 to 10 years to master a topic. Or Malcolm Gladwell used to push that it takes 10,000 hours, which I don't believe in that either, for mastery. Yeah, and everyone would believe it. And everyone did believe it. And that was just kind of the passed on adage that it takes 7 to 12 years to master something. That's not true. That's not true at all. Because here's why. When you hated a topic in school, going back to school, when you hated a topic, did you learn it quick, or was it your worst topic ever? If you hated science, it was the worst thing ever. Hated math, you got the worst grade, and coincidentally, you remembered the least. Coincidentally, you were the worst. But then there was the topics you loved, right? And those were your best grades. Those you had the most fun in the class. You start to see the correlation here? And that's only part of it. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. This video is partially to talk about sales and marketing and the realities of it and the truths of it. It's also to talk about the fact that the reason why this is falling away is because people are softening up, especially in America. There's a pandemic going around where people are just too fucking soft. I don't know what did this. We can only blame it on self-esteem. You want to go back and blame mom and dad? Sure. Go back and blame the schools? Sure. But at some point, shit really started to get derailed. And we are now in a very interesting place and point in time where you have people who are not confident in themselves, who are very confused. They don't even know what fucking gender they are. Okay? That's not a confident person, by the way. You might not like that. I don't really care. But you'll never meet somebody who has decided to transition their gender or is attracted to the same sex that is confident, sure of themselves, don't have mommy and daddy issues, and see a clear vision of the world. It just can't coexist. It cannot. I'm convinced of that. So, anyways, we're not here to talk about that. But sales and marketing are the two most important skills. And if there was something that I could give to, anyone, no matter what age you're starting at, you could be starting at 30, you could be starting at 20 right now watching this video, really doesn't matter. The two things you need to master are sales and marketing. You need to be able to create a vision that is bigger than yourself. Then you can attract people to that vision. You can attract people to that mission. You need to constantly be able to resell them and reclose them on this mission. All the time. It's not just you get somebody to agree to help you once and then, oh, fuck, glad I don't have to do that again. No. You got to reclose that guy, reclose your staff, reclose, whoever it is, all the time. All the time. It might be daily. You might need to do it weekly. But you need to be closing them and reclosing them all the time. Guess what that is? That's selling. And you need to be able to take that concept that says, hey, it might be we're going to change the fucking world. It might not. It might be that we're just going to provide super cheap shit for this type of person. It might be that we're just going to provide this service for this type of person. But you know what? I want them to have a great fucking experience, and I want to provide the best possible service we can. And then you go and you say, this is who we are. This is our brand identity. Marketing. And then we got to take this baby out into the streets. And we got to put it in DAC card mailers and fucking, free mailers. And we got to put it in banner ads. And we got to put it on Facebook. We got to, run and drive advertising to it. And we got to present it and talk about it in a way that gets people to want to buy it. So if, commercials didn't work and advertising wouldn't work, you wouldn't have billions of dollars spent per year. You wouldn't have companies, huge conglomerates like Geico and AT&T and Verizon making ads. If fucking marketing didn't work, nobody would need to market. You just say, I got this phone. You want to fucking buy it or not? No? All right, fuck you. What about this guy? I got this phone. Hey, you want to buy this phone? So yes, there's layers to this on what works. And this is one of the big things that I had to learn. And you'll never be able to recreate me. You'll never be able to match my experience because of everything I've gone through. You'll never be able to do it. I don't give a fuck what your algorithm or your AI does. Never be able to match what I've done. Okay? And the reason why I say this message is partially that society's gotten soft is because when I was in my early 20s, I was running a health club. And it was a great job. And I was literally on the day I quit, I was offered a promotion. Now you gotta be a fucking retard to quit on the day of a promotion, right? That's what most people would say. But the thing I knew deep down is that I sucked at sales. I was still carrying the baggage from my past with me. And that baggage was that I almost failed fucking high school because of a public speaking class. And I was terrified to stand in front of people and talk. And we've talked about this over and over and over again. But I knew that I sucked at sales. So what did I do? On the day I was offered a fucking 6-figure promotion, I quit. And I went and I started selling fucking phone service and office supplies. And I would have sold air if I had to. Because I knew that I was not good enough. This would not last me my lifetime, the skills I had. I needed new skills. And those skills, I looked at it as, this isn't right now. This is like my new identity. This is my whole life in front of me that is going to change because of this one decision. Right? And that's what's missing. That's part of what's missing right now. Is instead of doing that, I feel like people are just going to like go create this hashtag that says like, my life is fucking awful. And then there's like a million people that are like, yeah, man, me too. My fucking life is awful. It's like, whoa, dude, just shut up and go do something. Shut up and go do something. Right now, there's fires in Australia, right? And there's people they're not on social media. Oh my God, shocker, right? And they're helping, and they don't have a blue check mark. And they're actually going and taking koalas and putting them into sanctuaries and depositing them into safe spaces in the rest of the country. And oh my God, they're not talking about it at all on social media. So, there's times to talk shit and there's times to fucking do shit. And I feel like that needs to come back in a big way. And sales and marketing, it's not going away, guys. And I'm going to keep talking about this until I have 0 people on the stream. Because that will mean everyone's sick of fucking hearing it. They're sick of hearing it. But that one decision back then set up everything. Because then I went and did that for 2 years, became a top producer. Then I went and I said, you know what, dude, I can sell anything. I sell fucking office supplies in the heat, in a 2 and 3 piece suit in the heat in Miami, Florida. I started in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. Look at what I've been through. I can sell anything. Jumped on the wave of the internet right as it was happening. Made my first $1 million. But in that, even within that, I learned persuasion. Yes, all the Robert Cialdini shit is still true. Yes, it still works. Read through, the Think and Grow Rich stuff. Learned copywriting. Learned NLP, right? Because all that is true. All that works. Okay? Phobias are real. People are afraid of spiders. They're afraid of heights. They're afraid of elevators. And then there's people who aren't. And then there's people who were once afraid of this thing and aren't anymore. Well, what the fuck did they do? Right? And this blew my mind when I got huge into biohacking. One of the things that drove me nuts and why I left that space so quick is because there's these double-blind, triple-blind studies, right? And they go through so much effort to make sure that the person did not know that this was a placebo pill or the real pill. But still, there is like 1 or 2 people in every study that cure cancer from a sugar pill. And they're like, oh, the test failed. Why are you not talking to the one person that got over it? What did they do? And we're still in that golden era. Like right now, what is still super valuable is if, like this, like what I'm doing with you, is I had this problem and I got through it. Here's what I did. And I hate to tell you, but that is always going to be sold. And it's only going to become more and more important because another side effect of tons of free information online will be that everyone knows how to do drop shipping. Everyone knows how to do fucking real estate. Now we need somebody who's been there. Now we're going to have to pay, and we're going to have to pay a lot. You're going to have to pony up because prices are going to double, triple, 10x over the next 10 years. Because all of a sudden all the experts are going to say, well, fuck, man. All this shit's given away for free. The level of playing field has gone up, and these guys need somebody who's been through it. So the guy who's been just sitting back, just like me, you see, I've been building out my portfolio. I've been building out my assets and building out my my foundation because I already know what's coming next. There's going to be a line out the fucking door to talk to me, to pay me whatever the fuck I want for what I've done. Driving millions of visitors to a webpage is highly valuable shit, guys. And I could go make a bunch of free videos, whole free series about it. But it won't give you everything. There will still be something that is missing. And you'll have to pay me for my time for that. And all the shit I've gone through, building businesses, failing, coming back from failure, coming back from the brink of fucking trying to, kill myself because the entrepreneurial journey is a fucking hell of a journey. And sometimes you reach that edge and you try and push yourself off that edge. Okay? And so all those things that you're going through right now as an entrepreneur, I've fucking already been there. I've already gone through that. Probably not once, probably not twice, probably fucking 20, 30, 50, 1,000 times. So as soon as you start to talk about it, I'm finishing your sentences. I'm telling you exactly what the fuck you're feeling and thinking right now. Not with everything, but with 80% or so of what an entrepreneur goes through. What you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you think is the real problem versus what's actually the problem. There's no algorithm for that. Right? There's no algorithm for that. How is that not sales and marketing? You will be selling and marketing until the day you die. Every day is sales and marketing. We got this goal. I got to go and convince everybody else of this goal and convince them to get on board. Right? Every day. Every day we're doing that. That's sales and marketing. How long have we been going here? 35 minutes. Fuck. Questions? Questions for me? Drop them in the chat. But yeah, you can't excuse that. And the fact that I'm now seeing people running paid ads to videos just like this. That's what actually inspired this video. Is, who was it? Billie Jean is Marketing. That's who it was. Billie Jean is Marketing is running an ad right now on Facebook, on YouTube, on many places, talking about the 2 most important skills are sales and marketing. Or no, 3. No, it's the 3 things you need in life, and it's 1 skills, sales and marketing. Well, I'll make it simpler for you. The 2 most important skills in life are sales and marketing, and they will always be. Everything is selling. And the sooner you realize that, and the sooner you learn that, the better off you'll be. And it doesn't matter if you like selling. It doesn't matter if you respect selling. It has nothing to do with age groups. The internet has not made us smarter or better. Sales and marketing is still there. And it's alive and well. And the fact that he's, you see a guy like that, and I'm like, fuck, man. The fact that he's making this video proves that people aren't getting it. And it proves, because he's got a much bigger following than I do, it proves that this fucking guy has obviously gotten some serious blowback from this 16 to 26 age group that's saying, you're a fucking idiot, you're wrong. It's like, that's a guy who's run tens of millions, 50 million plus in advertising. He's got me trumped. So if you wanted to learn sales and marketing, get on the fucking phone with that guy. Well, I wouldn't say learn, but scale. Because you can learn a lot of the basics yourself, right? And that's where you want to start. You want to know enough about your subject matter to, if you had to teach it to somebody else or scale it out to somebody, outsource it to somebody, that you could, right? There was a point I was going to make with this that I can't remember. I dropped it at some point earlier in the thread here, but yeah, I mean that'll always be vital skills. And the other skill that comes from doing that for long enough is you start to really feel people. You start to really feel what's going on with them. See, most people, they're just walking through the world and they're like, oh yeah, there's a guy, there's a girl, and everyone seems okay. But the more you tune into that, the more you start to realize and you start to sniff out who's okay and who's not. This intuition builds up, right? This inner trust of these feelings starts to build up. And that's when you can really make great money, but help a lot of people. Because you have sympathy and you have empathy. And that only comes with time. Fuck, if you would have known, if you'd only know what went into that, the years of suffering. And I think I was even slow. I think I was really slow on that. And what I was willing to do, people aren't willing to do right now. Think about it. Would your average person, especially in that age group, or any age group right now, be willing to simultaneously fast while sitting in lotus position for the whole fucking day, meditating, taking psychedelics and magic mushrooms? If that was the answer, right? If I said, here's happiness. Happiness you can achieve by sitting and not eating for a month, taking massive doses of psychedelics every single day, fasting, and trying to sit still all at the same time. But you'll be happy at the end of the 30 days. 99% of people wouldn't do it, no matter how you sold it. Okay? It's just because people aren't willing to do what it takes. And that's part of, so coming back to it, the 2 most important skills. Look, here we are, a YouTube video. I'm giving you the keys to the castle. The keys of everything that fucking matters in life is based on sales and marketing. 99% of people are just, yeah, fucking sales and marketing. Yeah, everyone's fucking talking about sales and marketing. Whatever, dude. Whatever, man. Yeah, I can sell. Well, then go sell air. Challenge me. Put me to the test. Prove me wrong. Go sell air purifiers. Go sell a fucking $3,000 water purification system. Let me know how that goes in a week. And I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'll tell you exactly what barriers you're going to come up against. And how many times you'll feel like quitting. Fuck. But that's what it's going to take. I shot an audio maybe a month back. And I said, yeah, you can look at things from the monetary standpoint of the money goal. But there's another way to look at things. If you know your numbers, let's say you sell a $5 product and you want to make $1 million, however many products you need to sell, then, and you've tested this, so you've already made like 100 calls. To test something out, you need to do, 20, probably 10 to 20 calls. You need to send 50 to 100 clicks to test out an idea. And based on that, you should have some metrics. One person opted in, 15 people opted in, 5 people bought, whatever, right? And after that, you can then extrapolate out those numbers and make some assumptions. So what if it was that you only needed to sell 5,000 products in your life to be rich? What you consider rich. Let's say you think $1 million is rich. What if all it took was selling 5,000 products? What if all it took was 1,000 phone calls? But that's true, isn't it? Obviously, you haven't figured these metrics out. Most people haven't. So you need to figure these metrics out. If you sell a service, let's say it's a $100 service, after all the wages and the overhead is paid per month, we're taking a daily average of what I pay for my overhead, electricity, internet, blah, blah, blah. Let's say you're taking home $50. You're clearing $50 on every sale. How many of those would you have to make to get to your goal? Whatever that might be. $1 million, $20 million, $50 million. I think, you got to be at least $10 million or more. You're not going to be able to retire with $1 million. It ain't going to be worth fuck all in the next couple years, let alone by the time you're ready to retire. But let's rewind that back. So how many, I'm closing on average 1 in 5 calls. So how many phone calls do I got to then make? How many people do I then got to then talk to close this 1,000 deals, which makes me $1 million or whatever, to then become rich and retire? How come you haven't looked at it like that? We used to use this thing in door-to-door called law of averages. And this is an actual law. Law of averages states that you do something enough times over and over again, and it has to succeed. Okay, so in this case, you knock on enough doors, you got to get a sale. So in essence, couldn't we then reframe this like every no I get, I'm one step closer to a yes? Absolutely. That's what we used to do. We used to turn it into a game. We used to love getting told no. Are you okay with being told no? Are you okay with somebody yelling at you, pulling out a fucking knife or a gun on you, and screaming at you to get out of their business? Are you okay with that? But what if that's what it takes? So it's always an inner game. And that's the part you'll never be able to Google search. You'll never be able to find that. Ever. The inner game. And then going through that for yourself and seeing yourself transition from like the old me to the new me. So yeah, we used to use law of averages. And there was days when I saw, so this was the game we played. And this was our requirement. Our requirement was that you would knock on 120 businesses every fucking day, Monday through Friday. And we guarantee that if you knock on 120 doors and use the sales script that we give you, you will sell 2 people. And that 2 people is worth this much, which is, I don't remember how much it was worth, right? But I didn't do awful, but I didn't do great. It's not like I was balling out of control, but I was making enough to live on, okay? And I set one of the biggest records in the office. I think we sold either 17 or 21 sales in a day. And it's because we were working on this, me and this other guy, and I needed his help because all the paperwork. So we were working on this deal for maybe 2-3 weeks. And we set a record in the whole fucking company. But 120 doors. There was days when I would knock on 120 doors. I would go door to door and knock on 120 doors. I was wearing out shoes every 3 months. But that's what it took. It doesn't have to be that hard though. Because with you, whatever you're doing right now, how many sales is that? How many sales conversations? I mean, just really sink your teeth into that for a second. What if it's 2,000 calls? Fuck, so all I gotta do is 2,000 calls in my lifetime and I'll be rich. That makes it possible. Who the fuck couldn't do that, right? Yeah? Or no? I mean, is this stuff making sense? Let me know. Is this making sense? Yes in the chat. Yes in the chat. Yeah, a little bit of latency on the stream, but not bad. Yeah, I know it's Monday, just starting out the week, but 2020 could be your best year. It could be the best fucking year of your life. But, and a huge but, dramatic change takes dramatic change. And to shake us out of comfort, it takes a whole lot more than you realize. And depending on how long you've been in that slow, sleepy groove of comfort, based on that, is going to determine how much energy and force it's going to take to rock you out of that. So it might take a lot. It might take a lot. And this is something that, again, you got to experiment with and you got to have lived through to actually be able to talk about it. Because there's a million moments when you want to not do it. There's a million moments when you want to quit. And those don't matter in comparison to the end goal. Those don't matter in comparison to what we're going for. So I hope that this is a very different kind of video than what you're used to and what you've seen on this topic. I've talked about sales and marketing in many videos, and I'm going to keep beating it until, right? But I try to make a logical, common sense argument. First off, sales and marketing ain't fucking going nowhere, okay? And if it didn't work and if it was all bullshit, Facebook's main revenue is from its ad platform. Twitter's main revenue is from its ad platform. Almost every single site on the internet needs to make money first and foremost, but their main source of revenue is coming from the site. Affiliate links, banner ad placements. If marketing didn't work, that would not be happening. Okay? If it was just so simple as, I want to change the world and I want to end starvation. And then the whole planet was just like, oh, well, fuck, he wants to do it. Okay, come on. If it was that simple, then it'd be done already. But I'm looking around, and we're still struggling with the same shit we were struggling with 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. So, what's really changed here? Markets go through cycles just like the stock market goes through cycles, just like Bitcoin goes through cycles. Sometimes just like the price goes up because people are price, and so a bunch of people get really excited, FOMO in, price goes up. Well, in marketing, the quality of information, just like what I talked about earlier, the quality of information starts to go up. And then the sophistication or the smarts, the street smarts within that market goes up so much. And then we need to come back down and recycle back down and start all over again. And so it's always this ebb and flow. We go up and we cap out, then we come down and we go up, right? Same shit. Same stuff. It's not going anywhere. So you need to learn this stuff now. And 2020 is going to be a pivotal year. It's going to be a big pivotal year because this will be the year that I'm guessing quarter 2, quarter 3 really start to lose steam in the stock market. Maybe a little bit longer. So it's like, I give it within like a 6-month variance, really. So I don't see it happening quarter 1. Quarter 2 could. Quarter 3, I see it more likely at the end of the year into 2021. But I don't know if that means recession. And a recession, you got to understand, usually lasts 6 to 14 months, with the average being 10.4 months of a recession. And a recession doesn't mean also, too, that we're all getting in breadlines. So if you take out the Great Recession and you just look at all the other recessions, they're not that bad. They're like a, 6-month span, 10-month span, and, people start to hoard their money a little bit more and the market contracts, and then something new happens, market sophistication again, and it gets people back into the market. It gets them confident again to come back into the market. So maybe banks restructure or mortgages, something happens different there. Or like in this case, the thing that what most people are missing, and I don't hear any of the pundits talking about, is that we're about to be in space. Okay, so if we can make it between now and the next couple years to make like the next big breakthrough, because I'll tell you what, as soon as we put somebody back on the fucking moon, whether it's fake or not, the markets are going up. Okay, the markets are fucking going up. I don't care what they say. I don't care what the national debt level is. I don't give a fuck what the repo market's doing. I don't care if Tesla's over $600 at that point. It doesn't matter because people are price. You put somebody back on the fucking moon and the whole planet is going to be excited. And when there's euphoria in the air, markets pump. Okay? Markets pump. And that is selling. Because that is the U.S. government, that is NASA, that is Russia, that is whoever, China, saying, okay, shit's starting to stagnate. We need something. We need something that everyone can rally around. Just like the sports team in the fourth quarter who's getting their ass kicked. The coach comes in and does what? He gives them motivation. He gives them something to rally around. Okay? He's selling them on the fact that we got to get back in this game and win this motherfucker. Well, governments, NASA, and companies do the same shit. Buybacks, new tech, mergers, acquisitions. Okay, same stuff happens. So it's like micro, macro. It's all the same. Same, but different. Okay. Anyways, questions. I'm gonna wrap this up. I think I've beaten a dead horse here. Beating a fucking dead horse with this. Okay, let me ask this question for those that are watching. Do you feel differently now about sales and marketing than when you first tuned in to the stream? And if you've only been here for a couple minutes, don't answer. But if you've been on here this whole time, which I think we've had people on here the whole 50 minutes, do you feel differently? Or are you more inspired about sales and marketing now than you were before? Yeah, do you at least feel different? Let's start with that. Yes or no? Just yes in the chat. I don't know if the chat's actually working because not shit's come through. And usually it does by now. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me on there. Because I'm showing nobody in the chat. That's weird. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, if you're in a Discord, jump into Discord. Let me know how you like this. Yeah, that's it. Sales and marketing. 2020 can be a fucking phenomenal year. We're going to do more streams like this. The next one I want to really tackle is to really break down my journey with goal setting and just how important it is to say, I want to do this thing. I want to go from A to B. How the fuck do we do that? How do we actually do that? And some of the things that you can use tactically while you're in the trenches going from A to B. That's what I want to focus on. All right, that's it, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for clicking the like. Click the like. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell notification. Be on the lookout. We'll be streaming again very soon.